Power is a funny thing. It's like a drug, something people crave so desperately that they'll do anything to get it. The weak hide behind false bravado, spinning intricate webs, desperate to feel control. They plotted, schemed, worked in the shadows, thinking they could pull your strings like a marionette, that your fate was in their hands. They thought power over you was theirs for the taking, like a prize they deserved. But power isn't something you just hand over. It's earned, seized, wielded by those who know what to do with it. And in that moment, they realized they had underestimated you. They tried everything, didn't they? Manipulation, betrayal, threats whispered in the dark. The arsenal of the weak. Weapons designed to corner you, to make you submit. They thought your spirit could be bent, that your resolve would crack under pressure. But pressure makes diamonds. You didn't falter. You didn't break. Instead, you watched. You learned. You adapted. Their attempts at control became a stage play you were content to observe, each move they made only revealing more of their desperation, more of their fear. The thing about power is, it can be intoxicating. They got drunk on the illusion of it, convinced that victory was within their grasp. But you knew something they didn't. Real power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from knowing yourself, from understanding that freedom lives in the mind, in the choices you make when the world wants you cornered. So you stood tall, unyielding, defiant, and their power slipped through their fingers like sand, leaving them clutching at nothing. Control is an illusion, a lie told by those who are terrified of feeling small. And as their grip weakened, as their carefully constructed plans unraveled, they found themselves unmasked, exposed. The power they thought they had was never real, just a facade to hide their own inadequacies. Now, stripped of their schemes, they're left standing in the ruins of a game they could never win. The helplessness sinks in, the bitter taste of realizing they were never in control to begin with. It was poetic in a way, the reversal of roles, the hunter becoming the hunted, the puppet master tangled in their own strings. You never wanted to be the monster in their story, but they pushed and pushed, and now they face the beast they conjured. Power is a dangerous thing to covet, and in their lust for it, they forgot that every action has consequences. The more they tried to bind you, the more they tied themselves in knots. The more they tried to bring you down, the higher you rose. Now their fear is palpable. You can see it in the way their hands tremble, in the way their eyes dart, searching for an escape that isn't there. Once so confident, so sure of their dominion, they are now shadows of their former selves, ghosts haunted by the realization that power was never really theirs. The walls are closing in, and there's no one left to save them. They wanted control, but now they have none. They wanted to dominate, but now they're the ones cowering. Power reveals the truth of who someone is. Underneath the cruelty, the manipulation, the fake smiles and honeyed words, is weakness, a soul too fragile to stand on its own. You saw through their lies, through the grand performance they put on to seem invincible. And now, as the curtain falls, the audience sees the reality. Pitiful, desperate, clawing at an illusion. Their strength was never real, only borrowed from the fear they tried to inspire. Now that fear has vanished, and with it, their hold over you. They're left with nothing but the consequences of their own ambition. It's a harsh reality, facing helplessness when they've built their whole world around the illusion of power. They are trapped in a cage of their own making, the architect of their own downfall. And you, the one they tried to subjugate, walk away unscathed, free, a living testament to the indomitable human spirit. Your strength was your silence, your resilience the weapon they could never defeat. Their biggest mistake was thinking you could be controlled, that under pressure, under threat, you would bend to their will. But the thing about pressure, it refines, it sharpens, it makes the strong even stronger. And now, you stand victorious, while those who craved power over you lie in ruins, helpless and defeated. You have to come back as a beast. Transformation isn't pretty. It isn't gentle or kind. It doesn't ask for permission or wait for acceptance. Becoming a beast means embracing the darkness within, the primal rage that once lay dormant, sleeping inside your heart. When the world has torn you down, when people have trampled over your spirit and tried to bury you, there's only one way to rise. Rise, not as you were, but as something stronger, something that terrifies those who thought you were broken. There's no place for fragility in this rebirth. You have to return unrecognizable, an incarnation of fury and resilience, a force of nature that demands respect. Pain has a way of reshaping people, doesn't it? It strips away illusions, tears down walls, and leaves behind raw, unfiltered power. To become a beast means you stop caring about the rules that once held you back. Kindness is no longer a virtue you can afford to uphold for those who wish you harm. Mercy is a luxury you can't grant to the ones who betrayed you. Every scar becomes a reminder, every wound a lesson, molding you into something unbreakable. The world will learn that you're no longer prey, no longer easy to manipulate or control. You've become the hunter. Strength isn't born from comfort. It's forged in the fires of adversity. To come back as a beast is to accept that the pain didn't defeat you. It sharpened you, made you ruthless in ways that the weak could never comprehend. When you walk into a room now, you no longer ask for permission or seek approval. You take up space unapologetically, the echo of your footsteps, a reminder that you are not to be underestimated. They will whisper about the change, about how you returned with a darkness in your eyes, a predator's gleam. Let them fear. Fear is your weapon now. The rules of the old world no longer apply. The chains that once bound you have melted away, leaving you wild, untamed. Coming back as a beast means you understand the game better now. Every strategy, every deceitful move. You've studied the patterns, memorized the mistakes you won't make again. Those who took advantage of your kindness, who mistook your silence for weakness, will now face something they never anticipated. You are no longer their toy, no longer their plaything. The game has changed, and you hold all the cards. A beast doesn't explain itself. A beast acts, driven by an instinct sharpened through pain. There is no room for doubt, no space for hesitation. You've become something primal, something that doesn't need to justify its existence. The world can watch in awe or terror. It makes no difference to you. They can hate you, fear you, plot against you. But now, you are ready for any storm they conjure. Because when you were broken, they thought you would never recover. Now, you're stronger than anything they could have imagined. Resurrection in the form of a beast isn't about revenge. It's about survival. It's about understanding that the only way to protect yourself is to become unyielding. You learned the hard way that being good, being forgiving, only led to betrayal and suffering. Now, your heart is armored, your spirit weaponized. You guard your soul like a fortress, knowing only the worthy can approach. Let them remember the gentler version of you, the one they took for granted, the one they betrayed. That person is gone, and in their place stands a force they will come to regret underestimating. When you come back as a beast, you no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You roar, you take space, You let your presence be known. It's an act of defiance, a proclamation that no one can cage you again. Those who once thought they had power over you now realize they are standing in the shadow of something they cannot tame. The whispers of your transformation spread like wildfire, a warning to those who thought they knew you. You've become unpredictable, uncontrollable, and nothing terrifies the cruel more than something they can't control. You owe nothing to those who betrayed you. Coming back as a beast means you have shed the last of your guilt, the last of your need for approval. You live on your own terms, answerable to no one but yourself. Your loyalty is now reserved for those who proved themselves worthy, and to everyone else, you are a storm, unforgiving, relentless, unyielding. Let them talk about your change. Let them tremble when they realize that the old version of you, the one they could manipulate, is dead and gone. The beast lives, and it bows to no one. Power flows through you now, raw and untamed. You've learned to harness it, to use it as a shield, as a sword, as an unbreakable force. The world that once seemed so vast, so full of obstacles, is now a playground where you make the rules. The ones who once held you down now feel helpless, small, insignificant. Their weapons of cruelty and deceit fall flat, powerless against the force you've become. You've risen beyond their reach, and they can do nothing but watch, helpless and haunted by the realization of what you've become. When it comes to controlling human beings, there is no better instrument than lies. Lies have a unique power. They are more than words. They are carefully crafted illusions, designed to seep into the very fabric of a person's mind. Lies offer comfort, direction, even hope. They manipulate beliefs, bend perception, and warp reality. When someone masters the art of deception, they hold the strings to humanity itself, because human beings are creatures of faith, driven by the stories they tell themselves. Manipulate the story, and you control the mind. Twist the narrative, and you own the soul. Belief becomes a cage, an unbreakable chain binding the will. The best lies are not grand or obvious. They whisper, they insinuate. They become part of everyday thinking, so subtle that the victim never suspects a thing. A master manipulator knows that people cling to their beliefs even when faced with evidence to the contrary. It's not just about feeding someone a falsehood. It's about making them want to believe it. It's about convincing them that their lie is a lifeline in a chaotic world. Once that happens, control becomes effortless. Humans will fight to defend the lies they hold dear, the illusions they've made a part of themselves. Those who control lies, who know how to plant a seed and watch it grow into a forest of manipulation, hold a power few can fathom. Lies can move armies, shatter empires, and inspire revolutions. But lies can also rot from the inside out. Even the strongest manipulations have cracks. A lie can only hold if the believer never dares to question, never thinks to look behind the curtain. And that's where the real danger lies. If someone starts to doubt, if someone starts to peel back the layers of deception, the entire illusion can collapse. The manipulator's greatest fear is someone waking up. An awakened mind, one that has seen through the illusion, becomes immune to further deception. It's like a spell being broken, an enchantment shattered. The manipulator's power vanishes, leaving them vulnerable, exposed. Once someone has seen the lie for what it is, the magic is gone. Control slips away. And the fear, the panic that follows, is a delicious irony. The one who once spun webs of deceit becomes tangled in their own creation, helpless and desperate to regain the power they once wielded so confidently. The ones who master lies also become slaves to them. They must maintain their web, feed it, reinforce it. The energy required to keep an illusion alive is endless, and in that endless struggle, cracks begin to form. Paranoia sets in, because maintaining a lie is a delicate balance. Every interaction becomes a potential threat, every question a dagger aimed at the heart of their deception. Those who live by lies know they are sitting atop a house of cards. One wrong move, one whisper of doubt, and everything comes crashing down. To manipulate beliefs is to play God in the minds of others, but gods can be toppled. Once people realize that what they believed in was a mirage, the power dynamic shifts dramatically. The manipulator's greatest weapon, faith, becomes their greatest liability. The betrayal stings, the realization cuts deep, and suddenly, the one who controlled is the one at the mercy of the betrayed. The collapse is swift, brutal, and inescapable. What was once a throne of manipulation becomes a pit of helplessness, a reminder that no illusion lasts forever. Human beings are resilient, but they are also fragile when it comes to their beliefs. Shatter one foundational lie, and a chain reaction can begin, unraveling years of manipulation. The fall of a manipulator is a spectacle, a reversal of fortune so poetic, it feels like destiny itself. The web they spun to control others becomes the very thing that ensnares them. Their victims rise, empowered by the realization that the power once held over them was nothing but smoke and mirrors. The spell is broken, and the tables have turned. Lies are weapons, but they are also curses. The manipulator may believe they are invincible, but they live in constant fear of exposure. Every lie told must be defended, protected, reinforced. It's a game with no end, a battle against the inevitable. The longer the web stretches, the more fragile it becomes. The manipulator becomes haunted, living in dread of the day someone sees through the illusion. And when that day comes, the helplessness they feel is unparalleled. The power they once had crumbles to dust, leaving them defenseless. The realization comes too late. The moment when they understand that their lies have lost their grip, that their power was never real, only borrowed. The world they constructed falls apart, and with it, their sense of control. What they thought would be an eternal rule of manipulation becomes their undoing. The very instrument they use to dominate others turns into a trap they cannot escape. The panic sets in, the helplessness washes over, and the power they once held is gone forever. The one who has the little need is the one who controls the whole relationship. Power dynamics in relationships are like a silent dance, each step calculated, each move a reflection of who holds the upper hand. The one who loves the least, who has little need for the other, becomes the puppeteer. It's a cruel truth, one that plays out in subtle gestures and whispered manipulations. The person who loves the most is the one willing to sacrifice, to bend, to break if necessary. And for the one who needs nothing, there's nothing to lose. Their indifference becomes their shield, their armor, their tool to exert control. It's a twisted game, but in this game, emotions are currency, and the less invested always wins. Look closer, and it becomes clearer. The one who loves deeply becomes a provider, a wellspring of care, attention, and devotion. They give and give, hoping to be enough, hoping that their love can create something real. The one who loves less, who stands detached, takes advantage. It's a transaction, a business deal disguised as affection. One side is the addict, desperate for a fix, for validation, for scraps of affection. The other side is the dealer, doling out attention in calculated doses. ensuring the addict keeps coming back for more. It's dependency dressed up as desire. There's a hunger in those who give too much, a thirst that will never be quenched by the one who loves less. They crave reciprocity, a balancing of scales that will never come. And the one who loves less knows this, senses the desperation, and plays it to their advantage. They dangle hope like a carrot, offering just enough to keep the giver hooked. It's a cruel manipulation, but one that is effective. The power lies not in how much is given, but in how much is withheld. A sadistic game where control is the ultimate prize. Love, in this kind of twisted relationship, is a drug. The giver becomes an addict, clinging to whatever crumbs of affection are tossed their way. Each moment of closeness is a high, a fleeting sense of fulfillment that never lasts. And the one who controls the supply, they become a master manipulator, understanding that scarcity is power. They can withhold affection, turn cold, make the giver chase and beg. It's a game of dominance, one that feeds off the weakness of the heart. The giver can't walk away, and the one who loves less knows it. Need is the poison that keeps this dynamic alive. The one who loves too much loses all sense of self, becomes a shadow, a servant to the whims of the one who cares less. They will compromise. They will lower their standards. They will endure endless disrespect, because the idea of losing the one they love is more painful than the humiliation of staying. The person who needs less, who stays detached, is untouchable. They never feel the desperation of longing, never suffer the torment of unrequited devotion. And so, they hold all the cards, knowing their indifference is a weapon. The addict and the dealer, the giver and the taker, are trapped in this toxic dance. The one who gives will bleed themselves dry, pour everything they have into a relationship that takes and takes, but never fills. The one who needs little will drain them, will absorb every ounce of devotion without feeling any obligation to give back. It's a parasitic existence, one that leaves the giver empty, broken, wondering why love has become a prison instead of a sanctuary. Meanwhile, the one who needs less walks away unscathed, untouched, their power intact. But every game has its breaking point. There comes a moment when even the most desperate heart starts to wake up, to see the manipulation for what it is. Love that is not returned becomes a burden too heavy to bear, and the addict finds the strength to go cold. It's a moment of reckoning, a realization that the power the other held was only an illusion, a trick played on a heart that wanted so badly to believe. And when that realization comes, the tables turn. The giver withdraws, and the one who loved less is left with nothing. The panic that sets in when the addict becomes immune is a thing of beauty. The one who held the power suddenly finds themselves scrambling, desperate to regain control. They relied on the giver's dependency, on the need that kept them tethered. Without it, they are exposed,